Good morning. I'm inspired this morning by the case of Eugene Carroll that basically won in court. She was a woman who was an advice columnist who lost her job because Donald Trump basically lied about her, and she claimed that he had assaulted her many years ago in a change room in Bergdorf Goodman department store in New York City. And he claimed that he had not, and that she was making it up, and that she was a mad woman, basically. And she won $5 million in court yesterday. And it really was a judgment that showed that courage and determination, if you're a woman who has been raped and assaulted, can in fact lead to justice. And that isn't always the case. So I'm interested in the notion of avidya, which is one of the Kleshas, which is considered to be the cause of suffering. It's another word for it. It would be poison. And it's incorrect seeing. It's being unable to see things correctly. And I've always liked the notion of feminism as a shift in your vision. Suddenly different things come into view and you begin to see more clearly some of the injustices that happen to women. So this is a quote from The Little Prince. "Here is my secret. It is very simple. It is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye." So that notion of being able to see differently and to allow you to move through the world in a way that helps you to eliminate some of your suffering is really important. And I have a beautiful poem by Jane Hirshfield in her book, The Ledger. "Without night shoes, all night, sonatas played left-handed inside a loaned iPod. Neither sleeping nor waking, I walked their unshod stairways up and then down. On some blackboard inside the house, the word fear vanished. On some blackboard inside the house, the word far vanished. Then the word error, then or, grave and slender, those hours unhoured themselves, stair by vanished stair. C minor, E flat, F sharp, A sharp, erase them." So I love that notion of, on some blackboard inside the house, the word fear vanished. On some blackboard inside the house, the word far vanished. Then the word error, then or. And that's a beautiful shift in perception. So we're going to begin our practice standing upright in Tadasana, feeling the beauty of our groundedness in the bottom half of our bodies, and also the sense of lifting up that happens in the upper part of our body. And we're just going to stretch our arms up above our head. And we're going to just stretch our right arm up and our left arm, our right arm, our left arm, and open our arms out. And we're going to lift our arms up, look up, and then fold forward. Exhale. And we're going to roll up. Lift up, arms out, fold forward. And then lift up, arms out, and then stand. And we're going to just shift down one side, our right, in my case, it's my right side, and then drop down to our feet and just move our upper body over and then up. And we'll do that again, the other same way, and then we'll go back. So we're just loosening up our upper body. Now we're going to just put our legs out. Our feet are parallel to the ends of our mat. And we're just going to bend forward. And put our hands on the ground and rest. And once again, we're feeling that our feet, the groundedness of our feet here, and the opening here, we can lift up a bit and feel the opening of our chest. And we're encountering the double movement of yoga, the energy moving into the toe mounds, our heels. We can lift our toes up. And also we can feel our sits bones moving up the ceiling. We can stretch our arms out here and just rest the palms of our hands on the ground. And then move over to our right foot. And you can bend your right foot here if you like. And then move over to our left foot here and bend our left foot. We can, if we want to, move our palms down between our feet and bend our elbows and feel our in the one of the end positions of this posture, your head goes on the ground and you can lift your legs up into a handstand, but we're not going to do the tripod handstand this morning. And now we can just put our hands on our hip and then just come up. So we stretched our body out in a number of ways. And since we know that yoga helps us to feel and think differently, we can imagine that in the process of our practice, our perception of the world changes and shifts a little bit. So we're just going to do a few sun salutations. We're going to lift our arms up, look up, inhaling, and then opening our arms out, exhaling to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift, exhale, right leg back into the ground. Inhale, look up. Exhale, and you can go down, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. And then inhale into, I'm doing an upward dog, but you could do a cobra or whatever kind of back bend movement you like. I'm just going to rest here for a moment and press my feet into the ground and maintain an openness in my chest. And then I'm going to turn my toes under and come back into downward dog. And we'll press into our hands and feel we can just walk our feet out a little bit because this is the first downward dog in the morning. And stand on your tippy toes to stretch those really well-used toes. And you can bend your knees. That helps stretch the toes out. And then we can lower the heels down. All the time we're inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. And we're going to lift the right leg up and bring it forward between our hands and put our knee down and lift our arms up, look up. Place our hands down here. Bring our left foot in between our hands. We're going to just hang suspended here in our forward fold. We can hook our hands in our elbows to give us a little weight here. And just feel the morning stretch. You can bend one knee, bend the other, or you can just rest here. If that's too much for you, you can put your hands on the ground. And now we're going to lift all the way up and down. Okay, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale halfway up. Left leg back, knee to the ground. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, hands to the ground. Down to the ground with chaturanga, knees, chest, chin, and then up in a cobra or upward dog. Inhale, we're going to rest here for a moment, pressing our feet into the ground, and turn our toes under and back up into a downward dog. And here we're going to spend a few minutes with our left leg up, and we can bend our knee, drop our heel to our buttock, and feel the opening in the front hip. Inhaling and exhaling. We can come up on our toes if we like. Once again, to just stretch our toes out and down. We can go up and down a bit. Now we're going to bring our knee in, and we're going to touch our left elbow with our left knee. And then we're going to come back up. Extend our leg out. Bring our left knee in to touch the right elbow, and then come back out. And then left knee, the center, and come back up. Stretch our leg out. I'm lowering my leg here. And then we're going to just change legs here. Use our right leg. Stretch it out. Then bend our knee. Drop our heel, our right heel to our left buttock. And feel the opening in our front right hip. And we're feeling the balance of our weight in our hands, both hands. And now we're going to stretch our leg out, bend our knee, and come in to the right elbow, out to the left elbow, out to the center, and then out. And then we're going to just come up on our tippy toes and drop our heels down. Anytime you're tired here, you can go into a child's pose and rest. I'm just going to lift my right leg up again, and I'm going to come forward into with my right foot between my hands, and I'm going to see if I can lower down a little bit into a lizard. So this, you might have blocks here. You can keep your body, your torso up, and you can just feel a really beautiful extension in your groin, in your front left hip. And you can lower down, if you like, onto your elbow. And here we're inhaling and exhaling and feeling that lovely extension. And then we're going to crawl back up here. We're going to lift our leg up, put it behind us, and once again, lift our left leg up. And sorry, we'll go back into downward dog. It's a little easier. Lift our left leg up, and then bring it forward between our feet. And once again, we're going to, you can have blocks here if you like, and just keep your back leg straight. Press into your heel. You can open out the front thigh if you like a little bit, and you can leverage yourself down to the ground on your elbows, and just rest here for a few moments in lizard. Once again, feeling that beautiful opening that's shifting your body on the mat. And you can crawl up now and put your leg back. And we're going to rest in downward dog. And then we're just going to walk forward and hang suspended again over our feet. You can keep your fingertips on the ground and really feel that opening in your chest. And then drop down again and come up halfway up. Inhaling, exhaling over your legs, and then inhaling all the way up. Good. All right. So we're going to do another sun salutation. Inhale, exhale. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, right leg back. Left leg back. Exhale. Up and upward dog. Inhale. Exhale. Downward dog. We're going to rest here for a moment and feel once again the energy in our hands grounding us, the energy in our feet grounding us. We can lift up, feel the arches of our feet, and then lower our heels down. And while we're in this position, we have to remember to roll our upper arms out, because our shoulders have already opened up like wings, and we just need to give them a little more space. We're inhaling and exhaling, and we're going to lift our right leg up and bring it forward into pigeon. So it's going to be optimally at a 45-degree angle, but we know there is really no optimal in yoga. It's what your body tolerates and feels good about, and what challenges you. But it is useful to keep your heel extended, and so that it helps you protect your knee. And then you can drop your back foot down so that you're pressing the front of your foot into the mat. And you can feel the opening in your chest. You can press up and feel, you shouldn't feel anything in your lower back. This should be opening your front hip, your front left hip. And if you feel like it, you can come down. You may want to have blocks if it's too much. And you can actually lay your forehead on the ground and stretch your arms out if you like. Or you can come down to whatever position feels good for you. And now we're just breathing here and resting. And we're going to come back up. And we can put our toes in the back foot down, lift our leg up, and lift our right leg up, stretch it up again. And then lower it down. We're going to lift our left leg up, bend our knee, bring it forward, drop our shin to the ground, and once again, whatever angle feels good. I find I get very cramped in this position, so I have to be cautious about it. And then drop your back. I wiggle my back foot down so that it drops down to the front of my foot. I press the front of my foot down. And once again, I'm just lifting myself up here so that I have a really lovely opening in my right front hip. And I'm feeling the foot press into the ground and the head lift up. And once again, you can go down to your elbows if you like, and just once again feel this as a good stretch. You shouldn't feel any pain here. You should just feel some stretching. And the stretching is in your back glute here, in your left, and it's an opening in your right front. And now I'm going to go all the way down to the ground and just rest here for a few moments. So the principle of yoga is sometimes to just let it be, to stay in a position long enough that you allow your body to hear itself, listen to itself, and open up. Now we're going to walk our hands back, and come back into that upright position where our chest is open, turn our back toes under, and lift our front knee up and back. And then bring our feet down into a downward dog for just a second. And we're going to lower our knees down and come into a child's pose for a little bit of a rest after we've done so much good stretching. And we're going to rest here for just a few moments. Inhaling and exhaling, feeling our breath fill up our back body because it's open and ready to open. Okay, now we're going to come down on our front and work on some back bends here. We just keep our, we can keep put our fingertips out outside of the off our mat, underneath our elbows, and we can lift up here, and then we can lower down. And once again, we can lift up and lower down. Now we can bring our hands to our side and lift our shoulders up but keep our forehead on the ground, and then lower them down. Our shoulders up and lower them down. Our shoulders up, and then our head comes up, and then our hands come up, and we press our feet into the ground and we press our pelvis into the ground. So we should feel no strain on our lower back, and we just feel a lightening in the upper body. And we're going to come down here. We're going to do that one more time and add the feet. So we're going to lift our shoulders up, and then our head, then our arms, our palms are facing up, and then our legs. And pressing our pelvis into the ground, really pulling it on the glutes, and feeling an opening in the upper body as we raise our arms up and extend our hands back. And then down again. Good. Now we're going to extend our arms out, and we're going to just lift our right leg up and bring it over as though we might touch our left hand on the ground. Of course, that's hard to do, but we can touch the floor possibly. And feel a lovely twist here and an opening in our shoulder, in this case our left shoulder. It's still on the ground. And then lift our right leg up, bring it back to the ground, stretch out our right arm, and lift our left leg up, bend it, and drop it down towards your right hand. And here we feel an opening in our right shoulder, a lovely stretch. Suddenly our body is moving in ways we hadn't anticipated when we got out of bed this morning. And lift our leg up and down. Okay, now I think we'll go do a bow here because we're into really strengthening our body, and so we can lift our right leg up, our right knee up, and we can move our hand towards it and possibly hold on to our ankle. And then lift, I'm just holding on to the mat and lifting this leg up a little bit and pushing the foot out to give myself a bit of a stretch. And then I'm lowering it down. And I'm going to do the same thing on the left side, just hold on to that foot and do a kind of half bow here, lifting up that leg. And then stretching it out and then lowering it down. You may find you can do both legs here by holding onto both ankles and really feeling a stretch in your shoulder. And you're going to breathe in, inhale, and exhale. And then on the next inhalation, you're going to just come up, open up that chest, push your feet away from you, and try and keep your knees towards each other. And it's a beautiful opening posture. And you can breathe into your open chest and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And then you can come down. And we'll do that one more time. Okay, we're going to hold on to I'm holding onto my ankles here. I have my heels extended. And I'm going to inhale, exhale, exhale. Right on this inhalation, I'm going to come out. And I'm just breathing, trying to keep my breath even here. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling and pushing out through my feet. And now we're going to come down, and you can press your feet into your back body here and give your a bit of a stretch. And then lower your legs down and put your hands like a little pillow and turn your cheek to the mat and rest here. That's a very powerful posture. So we've been working on our back bends, and we're going to push back into child's pose and take a couple of breaths here. We're going to stretch our hands out in front, and then we're going to walk them towards the right and stretch, and then to the center, and then to the right, the left, the other right, the left, and then towards the center, and then we're just going to roll up onto our heels, and then we're going to come down and sit in Dhanurasana. Well, I feel very sweaty. I feel like I've had a very good introductory series of asanas that warmed me up. Now, if you like, you can have a belt here that can help you. You can hold on to the belt, or you can hold on to your toes. We're going to go down with the straight back first. However far you can go, it might be that you have your hands on your shin, and you just open your elbows out. And I'm not going down very far with the straight back, because this is as far as I can. This is really as far as I can go with the straight back. And then I'm just going to curve myself over top of my legs, and you can hold on to your belt or the outer edge of your feet or the upper edge of your feet or your toes. If you hold on to the upper edge, you can make sure that your toe mounds and your heels are as though they're planted in Tadasana on the floor. And you can use your elbows to help you extend yourself along with your breath. So you're inhaling here, and on every exhalation, you're moving a little bit closer down. Anytime this is too much, you just come up. And we're just going to rest here. Inhaling and exhaling. And your body, your muscles, when they are released and then extended again, you tend to be able to move a little bit further. That's just how the muscles are orchestrated. They have these spindles inside that when you release them, they open up a little bit further. And then we're going to come up, sit up, and we're just going to bring one foot in to your inner thigh. And once again, extend forward with a straight back. And here you're twisted a little bit over top of I'm on my left foot, and I've got my hands over my left foot, and I'm just going to just allow myself to descend over that left foot, left leg. And you can hold on to your leg, your foot, and use your elbows as a little bit of a lever to give yourself a little more energy to move down towards your thigh. So there's no right way to do this. You could be up here, you could be down here, you could be down here, whatever feels good for you. You want to challenge yourself enough so that you make some progress in terms of allowing your muscles to extend, but you don't want to challenge yourself too much so that you overextend and cause yourself too much pain. Now you're going to come up and extend let's take my right foot, my left foot is coming in, and I'm feeling myself extending in the tip top of my head. And as I ascend, I'm tipping my hips forward and twisting a little bit over top of that leg. And you can hold on to the outside of that foot with the opposite arm, and that allows you to get a little bit more of a twist, and you can move yourself down, whatever amount you feel like. And once again, the principle here is to maintain the posture for a few moments in order to allow your body, the breath, to help you move and stretch and open out and transform itself, because every morning we're on the mat, we are transforming our body and our mind as we focus in and allow ourselves the opportunity to be inside our body as opposed to in our head or wherever we go in our everyday life. And here we're contemplating that notion of moving into a different way of seeing, of intuiting things differently. Just as Jane Hirshfield descends the steps of her sonata and feels fear and far and or disappear, she finds a new way of seeing and being and feeling. And now we're going to come up and we're going to put our feet together. We're going to do an interesting posture that I can't remember exactly the name of this yoga teacher, but he was he attributes his life to Iyengar because his mother was infertile and studied Iyengar yoga for 7 years or something like that, and then became pregnant with this what would become this yoga teacher. And he began watching Iyengar yoga because his mother continued doing Iyengar yoga. He watched his mother do Iyengar yoga from the time he was 3 years old, and when he was 7, he began to study with BKS Iyengar. And then when he was 22, he became the youngest advanced teacher to pass the exam. And he invented this posture, which I really quite like. So you sit with your feet together, and then you just shift over to your left hip, and you drop your knee down so that your legs are zigzagged here. And then you turn here towards the back, and you keep you imagine that if you could, you could actually extend your body back around so that it's facing the back. But this is a beautiful, you're stretching up here. This is the first movement, is to stretch up, and then you're stretching around. And this yoga teacher claims that every vertebrae in your body turns 2 degrees. And that he also says there's no such thing as chronological age. What matters is the age of your spine and how mobile your spine is. And now we can turn back this way a little bit. And you can put your hand behind you, lift you up, and feel the turning of your spine that way. Now we're going to bring our legs back into this posture. And then we're going to just lean towards our right hip and lift our left knee up and cup it into your foot there so that it's a zigzag. And we're sitting up here. And we're going to turn this way and feel our body move, our spine turn around even as we push up. We're going to turn back. We'll give a little bit of a counter pose and just twist a little bit the other way. Lifting up. And then we'll come back and go back into this posture. We're going to extend our legs out. And just press into our heels, lift ourselves up. You should feel a little bit more of that. We have a little bit more extension than we had when we began our class. And we're going to turn, shift towards the right, stretch out towards our right foot. We can have a strap here if we want, and extend forward and down over our foot. This massages our organs, and it offers us an opportunity to really feel the extension in our hamstrings, and all the way down to our heels. And we're going to come up, and we're going to turn towards the other side and extend down. However, whatever amount feels good. And you don't want to feel too much of a stretch. Overstretching. I think overstretching is a misnomer. And now we're going to come back up and put our feet together here. All right, so we spent a lot of time on the mat, a lot of time in sun salutation, and we're going to do some standing postures. So we'll just make our way to our feet and to the top of our mat. We're going to stand in Pigeon at the top of our mat, and we're going to step back with our left foot, just 2 or 3 feet, so that we're moving into a pyramid pose. We can put our hands on our hips and tilt our body forwards towards our front leg, and then we can drop our hands down and fold over our front leg. So here our hips are facing towards the short end of our mat. Our heel, both of our heels and our toe mounds are pressing into the ground. We should feel our back leg is on a diagonal that makes it comfortable for our knee. Our knee should be heading in the same direction as your toes. And we can just rest here. If you can call this resting, with your head upside down. It's a good inversion. And then we can, if we want to, we can do a revolved triangle. We can just extend we've got our right leg forward, and we can extend our left leg right beside our right leg, and we can into the ground, our palms into the ground, and then we're going to just rotate our spine
towards the back wall and lift our arm up. Now this might be too much for you. You can keep your hand down if you like on your sacrum and just feel the opening in your shoulder towards the back wall. Once again, your back leg, you're extending the heel into the ground, and you are opening up the back, feeling your chest open as you inhale and exhale here, and pressing into the ground with your feet and with that left hand. And now we're going to windmill, if we can, our arms up by pushing into the ground, steps, and then coming up. And we're just going to turn the other way with our left foot forward, back leg 2 or 3 feet out on the diagonal. And we're going to extend over our front leg with her. I put my hands in my hip creases. It helps me locate that descent. And then I'm just going to fold over into this lovely pyramid pose. There we go. And we're just feeling the feet grounding and the hips are moving up. The tailbone is moving up. And once again, we're going to plant our right hand here and rotate towards the back. And now we're going to rotate back and up, extending our arms down. And we're going to extend our legs out a little bit further and bend our front knee and have our hands moving out. In Warrior Two. And you can feel yourself moving out through your arms, your thighs. Each thigh is rotating out this way. And you can descend down a little bit further here, whatever is comfortable. And here we're going to go back here into Peaceful Warrior and then over into extended side angle with our forearm resting on our thigh, beautiful diagonal between our fingertips and the heels of the back foot. The outer edge of the back foot is pressing into the mat, and we can open our chest out here so that we're trying to rotate it towards the ceiling, towards the sun. And we're inhaling and exhaling. We can sigh here. And we're going to just stretch our leg up, straighten it up into triangle, and move forward and drop our hand down to our shin with our other arm up. Once again, our hand is looking up, our head is looking up, and we are really in a very energetic posture here. We feel a thread between our low ribs and our hip so that we're not arching our ribs out. And then we're just going to rotate up and back. And we're going to extend our left foot out towards the narrow edge of the mat. We're going to bend our knee into, I'm just switching my feet out a little bit further, into a Warrior Two pose with our arms extended and our back leg straight. Thighs are rotating outwards. And we can bend a little bit deeper
possibly. Inhaling and exhaling. Exhaling our hands out, our knee, our forearm to our thigh. And now we're going to extend our upper arm out into that beautiful diagonal as we open our chest up to the front, feeling whatever's possible. And now we're going to come back into this peaceful warrior, and we'll go forward into that posture again, extended side angle. Straighten our front leg and just slide our arm down our shin into a triangle pose, extending our top arm up, looking up, rotating our torso so that our chest is heading towards the ceiling. May not be facing it, but it's moving in that direction. And our legs are straight. Rotate up, turn our legs in. And I think we can just extend ourselves down to the ground once more in this forward fold over our wide legs. And you can put your hands between your legs, press into your hands so your elbows are at 90 degrees, and extend your back straight, pressing into your feet, pressing into your hands. And you can drop your head to the ground if that's possible. In my case, it's not really possible, but almost. And then I'm just going to put my hands on my hip, rotate up, rotate up, rotate up carefully, and wiggle my feet in, stand into Tadasana. All right. So we're going to cross our legs and sit down. And we're going to work on Navasana or boat pose for a few minutes. Those are very active standing postures. This will give us a little bit of a break, but also allow us to really focus in on our core. And we're just stretching our feet out in Dhanurasana. And then we can put our hands behind us and bend our knees and lift one leg up and then put it down. Lift the other leg up, put it down. One leg up, put it down. Up, down. Now we're going to extend our arms forward so that our palms are facing each other and our torso is on an angle. And we're going to see if we can lift both legs up into this boat pose so that we're a V, balancing on our buttocks here, our behind. And we're just holding this, feeling the incredible energy it takes to maintain it, and making sure you are drawing your navel into your spine and extending your toes and your arms. Now we're just going to hold down onto the ground. There. Oh, that was a very big exertion. All right, bend your knees up, and we're just going to windshield our knees from one side to the other to give our body a little bit of a different stretch. And when you're doing this, you can windshield your knees to one side, and then you can extend the upper hip forward to give yourself a lovely opening in your hip. And then you could go down, windshield the knees to the other side, And then extend your upper hip forward. And then lower down. You can go back and forth. And then you can hold onto your knees and give yourself a little roll. Now I'm going to just press myself up to sitting and see if we can do this. This is actually Pilates, but it's a lovely roll back. And you just make a little, punch yourself over top of your knees, sitting with your feet on the ground. And then you're just going to roll back and roll forward and roll back and roll forward and roll back and forward. And this is a very good massage for your spine, which over the course of the class has been twisted. There. Okay. Now we're going to go back onto our back, stretch out our arms, and we're going to move towards our Shavasana or final relaxation, whatever shape you like. And here I'm going to, you don't have to do this, you can just lift your hips up and move onto your left hip and drop your knees down. Or you can lift your right leg up and hook it underneath your left knee. And that provides a little bit more of a stretch. And meanwhile, your arms are outstretched to opposite walls. And you can use your hand like a second hand of a clock, moving time backwards and forwards. And you can move it along the floor if your shoulders are feeling fine. If they're not feeling fine, you can just lift them up wherever there are difficult, painful bits and move it around that way. So this is a very useful extension and rotation of your shoulder, while you're also extending your outer right hip. Now we're going to put our feet back on the ground and our sacrum back on the ground. We're going to lift our hips up again, shift them to the right, drop our knees to the right, and take our left foot, if you're feeling like this. You can just leave your knees like this if you like and move your arms, or you can lift your left leg up and hook it underneath your right. That provides a little bit more of a stretch. And extend your arms all the way around. Here we go, back onto our backs, and we'll just extend our legs out. If you have a wall, you can extend your legs up the wall, which is a lovely alternate way to do final relaxation. And just let them rest. And while you're in this posture, you're practicing letting go. And you feel the work you've done with your beautiful body is allowing you to open out into a deep relaxation. You can shift your shoulders up towards your ears and then drop them down. You can make fists with your hands, rotate your wrists, and then drop them down. You can squeeze your toes in, point them, stretch your heels out, rotate your ankles both ways, rotate it the other way. And you can shake your legs out and then drop them down. You can lift your hips up and then drop them down. Rotate your head from side to side. And now I'm going to be silent for a few moments
and allow you to just ascend or descend into your final relaxation. And you're going to imagine you two are walking on a Sonatas notes. And as you move down the stairs, you feel fear drift away. You feel the word far drift away. You feel the world open to possibility and to promise.
And you can feel yourself coming awake again and wiggle your toes, or you can stay on the mat and rest. Wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. Feel your breath, opening yourself again to full wakefulness. You can shift over onto your side, push yourself up into a seated position, and you can rest here. And Sarah Polley wrote this, the writer, director, and actor. Sarah Polley wrote in Run Towards the Danger, Confrontations with the Body of Memory, which was her book published in 2022. She wrote, I know now that I will become weaker at what I avoid, that what I run towards will strengthen in me. I know to listen to my body, but not so much that I convince myself I can't do things or that I can't push myself. Not so much that I can use the concept of listening to my body as a weapon against my vitality. I do the highway drive I'm nervous about doing. I prepare to make a film. I write the book I've always wanted to write. Run Towards the Danger is a way of being that I have taken into my life with me, a treasure, a spell, a sword. Thank you for being with me this morning, and I wish you a beautiful day as you too run towards the danger and feel that fear and far awayness drift away.